Okay, my friends, I'm doing a very unusual update here. I'm just going to wait for a second. Um, there have been some worrying events going on at the Northeast Florida nest. So I'll just give you a chance to get online. I'm broadcasting at the moment live in both Facebook and also YouTube. I'm just gonna wait a bit and see if you're going to come online. Just wait for you. So there have been some unusual events. As you know, the Northeast Florida nest is a very reliable nest, as reliable as its moderators are. And there have been some events that have, that have been very troubling. So the question is really, where did Juliet go? Hi Hazel, I can see you on Facebook now. That's nice to see you. So we're going to talk a little bit about this nest here. Good you could make it. It's a rather late special here. For some of you it must be very late. I do realize that, but I thought, in light of the recent events, thanks for the hearts. I thought in the light of the recent events it would be appropriate to go online and, give you this update. So I'm just seeing what's going on with YouTube. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think on YouTube it's also working. So I'm live on both of them now. So anyway, so as you know, last Friday we did quite a detailed stream on the Northeast Florida nest. Hi, oh God, lots of people there on. Hi, Kit is also there. Kit, Mohammed, Debbie. Welcome to Facebook. Very nice to see you all. You may have heard the the event that we did on last Friday. We were discussing the Northeast Florida nest. There had been some dramas. That's probably been one of the most stable nests that we know since 10 or 11 years. Thank you. Thank you, Kit, for happy holidays. Yeah, we are off to Brazil tomorrow morning, my wife and I. So I thought, it's going to be incredibly early and then I will probably be offline for some time. So I thought I'd rather give you a quick update now of what I know. Hi, Debbie. Hobgood. Sorry, I hope I pronounced it right. She seems like developing a brood patch. Yes. Yes, so what is, I don't know actually, does anybody know who the eagle is behind us? Because I'm not sure of that. Let me just scale it in a little bit better. See if I can do that. Wait a second, let me just do that. Yeah, there we go. So the question is really, who is this bird, first of all, behind us? Because Juliet seems to have disappeared, right? Juliet seems to have disappeared. I know it from one of the moderators, Gretchen, who is the main moderator at the Northeast Florida nest. I had her on the phone about 2 hours ago, and she said they've been looking like crazy for the bird. They've been looking for Juliet. So you know that Juliet was injured a few days ago, but now Juliet is getting older at the same time. And now is the nesting season. It's getting very, very tight. Yeah, I see Tina now. Kim Stout, hello, Debbie. Very nice to see you all on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. If you know anybody who is, hi Amanda, Jackie, Amy. Yeah, so sad what's going on. Orimum, hi Captain Stacy and Jackie. Very nice to see you all coming in. Bart saying, well, if anybody knows who the bird is in Northeast Florida behind me, I would be very happy for those comments. Cameron the Asteroid Dragon, nice to see you. So what I would like to tell you about is what I know about Juliet. So Juliet, of course, is fairly old now. Gretchen's been following them for 10 or 11 years. Hi Kim, or I can never say your name, KM's Pacific Northwest Kate is also, oh, Nicole is there. Now, what a nice surprise, Nicole. Wonderful to see you. Hi, Amy. Hi, Swamp. Everybody being there. I'm both, we got both YouTube and Facebook running. So it looked like Juliet had fully recovered, right? And then some drama happened. She disappeared for over 2 days. So I phoned Gretchen tonight. I had a talk with her. Of course, they're very, very stressed there. It's very difficult to find any eagle because eagles there. If you've been to the Northeast Florida nest, you will know that it's incredibly dense there. You know, it's very, very dense there, and it's difficult to find anything. So if she was, well, Juliet seems to be injured. Why else would she not be back? Now, the problem is, this is the part of age, right? Juliet is getting older, so is Romeo, and she has not been found. At least that is my position from 2 hours ago. Romeo, in the meantime, has been on the eggs, and strange enough, if I understand it correctly, and please correct me if I have this information incorrect, but my understanding is that that there was even one of these very young females who don't seem to have any nesting experience who sat on the eggs, which is rather unusual for the age. Now, we do know from White Rock, from some of the things what we've seen, that usually intruders destroy eggs. We've seen this with 3-4-year-old. So this gives us some hope. So there are two main questions that we have now. It's either Romeo or the new female. I see. Okay. So if it's Romeo, I would get worried, right? If it's Romeo we're seeing in the background, then it's very unlikely anybody's on the eggs, right? So Romeo's been doing most of the egg sitting and seems to be rather unperturbed by the situation. He just takes the full responsibility. Thank you, Babs L. Thank you for that kind comment. Yeah. So it seems to be one of the new females sitting there, right? I can't see the feathers at the moment. But I would like to see if they still have some black marks on it, which would indicate that the, that the female is indeed still very young. As I said, we've seen this before in Hi Randy Halliday. Very nice to see you all on Facebook too, and great that you're all tuning in. You're very welcome to. I see both Facebook and YouTube in real time here, so I'm seeing all your comments. Okay, so if you have any comments, please throw them in. There were two females. Yes, Tina Fox. I think my understanding was that there were two females that came to the Northeast Florida nest, and it's been quite busy there, right? There's definitely a female. One of them says Captain Stacy. Okay, good. So this is one of the females. So Romeo probably. I don't have the other cam at the moment. I don't know if there's another camera. But so behind us seems to be one of the sleeping females, right? But Juliet has not been seen so far. So Gretchen has been looking out together with others for over 2 days. And the problem is that Florida, if you've been in that area, is so dense, it's impossible to find an eagle. So if she was injured and would be somewhere high up in a tree, which is likely, by the way, it would be almost impossible to find her. We've had similar situations in White Rock. So the other concern seems to be whether the eggs are still viable, right? Through all the uproar. Now, Florida is a lot warmer than what we have temperatures here in Canada, or what you've had in the Decorah nest and other nests, or the berry nest, of course, which Nicole likes to cover very often, right? So, yeah, the question's really what's going on. Shirley says, Christian, so glad you're here. Tell us about the nest. I'll tell you whatever I know, okay? That's why, well, I'll tell you everything I know. I've been there myself. We covered it. For those of you who have not seen the coverage, we've covered it in detail last Friday, okay? So, it's one of these very famous nests, two famous nests in Florida. One is the Northeast Florida nest. The other one is the Southwest nest. The Southwest nest, as far as I know, there have been no dramas there, right? At the moment, I can also see that on the, it's quite interesting actually, that in Northeast Florida, if I look at the numbers there are 1,557 people online. 1,257 people online right now. I think the chat is closed at the moment, so I'm opening the chat here because I'm on Western time. Okay. Babs L says, I think that the young 5-year-old has been in and out the last 2 days. She has dark markings behind her eyes and on the tail. Well, that's a very clear sign. That's a 5-year-old, very clear. And Captain Stacy says, definitely 2 females showed up. That's interesting. Hi, Janet from New Jersey. Welcome to the stream on Facebook. Very nice to have you. Bart says the situation is similar to what happened at the Pennsylvania nest. Absolutely, last year I remember that, when the new young intruder female destroyed the eggs at hatch time. Well, that's a worrying factor. That's a worrying factor. Now, obviously, these young females, we've seen that in White Rock, by the way. If they don't have any nesting experience, typically the first eggs that they lay don't hatch, right? We've seen that. I'm sure you've seen similar on the East Coast. That's typical, right? That's typical. But the destruction thing is fortunately, no, not fortunately, is unfortunately very common, right? They don't know what to do with the eggs. They don't probably know even what they are, right? So what they do is destroy them. What else should they do, right? Now that can be very horrible, right? And hopefully we won't see that. If there is a bad situation, my own hope is that they are non-viable. Then they get destroyed, but at least there's no hatching. If they get hatched, and then, well, I won't go on with the story, but I guess you understand that. Carrie Walter says, everything is fine at the Southwest Florida nest. Should have eagles in a few days. Absolutely, we announced that. The second egg, I think, was Christmas, if I remember correctly, and the first one is 2021. So just when I'm flying to Brazil tomorrow, going to be on the plane for 20 hours. So who knows, maybe by that time the Southwest nest will have, we will have seen something. I think in the Northeast we probably won't expect something. We have to count 37 days from the day of the eggs were laid, and I think that puts us either tomorrow or on the 21st. Okay, on the 21st. So if there is an update, I will give it directly from Brazil, but not in this fancy environment I have. I will be using my cell phone straight away to update you, okay? And give you any information. I will get whatever information you have. Please email it to me, zassefoto@gmail.com. Just email any updates that you have. And I'm happy. I'm reading all your comments live as they come. Debbie Meyer says, actually, the Pennsylvania eggs were only a few days old. Liberty, oh, hang on. I just missed your comment. What happened there? It disappeared. Oops. It went so, there are so many comments coming in. I missed your comment there. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get it back. Just hang on a second. Where is your comment? Music. Oh wait, no, where are we? There we are. Sorry, here we are. Is there a pip now? No, Bird E-Watcher, there's no pip so far. There's no pip so far, but the comment earlier was about the Pennsylvania nest, saying that a few, they were destroyed a few days after. That's what I just read. I mean, you're more the experts here. That's why I'm giving. Hi, Osprey Mama's also there. That's great. You also joined. It must be incredibly late for you now. It's 11:15 on the East Coast. Wow, that's incredible. So anyway, going back to the mystery. So that seems to be one of the young females. That's what I just learned from you. So that's a live view of one of. Let me just get this properly in the picture. Oh, let me just get this back to live one. Hang on. 1 second. Let me just get the live view back. There we go. There we go. Okay. That's better. That's better. So that's a live view now. So obviously that is one of the young females. If we look at the, you know what? You can't see it from here, but the tail feathers, someone was remarking that they are rather black at the moment, and you would be able to see that. I thought I saw a pip, says Judy Latimore. Oh, thank you, Carol Mees, for donating some money. That is very nice. You know what? I will use that money when I'm in Brazil to give you any live. So that is really appreciated. I have terrible roaming costs there. So I would love to broadcast live from Brazil. So any money that you donate will go into live broadcasts that I will give you from Brazil, which will be incredibly interesting, by the way. So I'm flying with my dear wife, Rosanna, to Brazil tomorrow morning. And I will be in Brazil, and whenever I can live broadcast, I will do it. So thank you for Carol. So it's Carol Mees. Thank you for the donations. I really appreciate that. Let's jump back to Facebook. And Mary Lord says, Merry Christmas, Dr. Sass and family. Well, Marty, Merry Christmas to you. That's wonderful. Keep on sending your comments. Jen Seegor on Facebook says, I haven't seen nothing official. They can stall for now if they like. I'm concerned. I bet you are all concerned. I bet you're all concerned. Right. Amanda says, I agree with you, Kathy. And let's see what Kathy said. I have to go back up all the way. Oh, that must be a comment way up. I don't know what comment you're referring to. Jackie says, enjoy your trip and happy holidays. I will. I will. So it's going to be incredibly hot, by the way, in Brazil. I have some exciting news for you, too, that I just wanted to share with you whilst we're talking about the Northeast Florida. As we'll start talking about Juliet in a moment. It's definite, it's 100% sure that I'm going to Japan with David Hancock on the 8th of February till the 25th of February to see the stellar eagle. Can you believe it? I will be, if I can broadcast live from Japan, I will do it. We're going to the northern Japan where the ice is, and we're going to go to a rehab center where they band and release stellar sea eagles, and they have these beautiful cranes. I promise you that's going to be a feast for this channel, okay? You're going to see things that you've never ever seen before, okay? So that's just the exciting things, something that's coming up. That's just you know, that's really exciting. So let's get back to those of you who've just joined. Well, thanks anyway for joining. At the moment we have 66 on Facebook, which is great, and on YouTube I cannot see how many we have, but there must be quite a few too. So the question here is, where is Juliet? So this is what we've seen now. Japan, yes, Osprey Mama, isn't that awesome? It is. It's great news. I'm going to be packed with photographic equipment. You cannot believe it. I'm probably going to take a mic, and I'll introduce Mike Sears to you also at some time, but I'm going to be packed with photographic equipment. I'm going to let them carry all my stuff in hand luggage, because we've got so much. Yes, Claudia. The stellar sea eagle is an absolute highlight. David is going to travel. He's nearly 81. So back to Juliet now. So this is not Juliet who we're seeing in the back there. We don't know where Juliet is. It's very worrying because she hasn't been back for two and a half days. What Gretchen told me, they went out on a boat even. Can you believe it? On a boat to go along the coast to see something. I was on the Northeast Florida nest, I was at the Northeast Florida nest. I showed you the scenes without my shirt and so on. You may have remembered that. No, I didn't. I had a shirt on, don't worry. But it's very warm there, of course. Even in winter, it's very warm. But since 11 years, this has been the most reliable couple with the most incredible statistics, right? Take everything. I will take everything. Hi Heather, nice to see you. Hi Dottie, nice to see my friends all on Facebook. Marty says, wow, how awesome. Hope you post videos. You bet I will. I'm going to take footage like there's no tomorrow. And I live like there's no tomorrow because I never know what happens tomorrow. I just don't know, right? Oh, dolphin hunt. Yeah, but I'm not going to go in those areas because we are going to northern Japan. Okay, we're going to fly straight to Sapporo, which is northern Japan. Okay, so I'm not going to any other areas there really. Okay, just that you know. Too bad there isn't a tooth hatchery right there. The Decora Mum says, I can never pronounce it. KMSBN. I know that's an abbreviation, you told me before. She was so successful with her 3 babies. Claudia says, I've seen videos of the stellar seagull. Yeah, you wait till you see mine. You're going to fall over, okay? Oh, wait a second. I think I see a message here. Jenny is there. When are you going back to the Aleutian Islands with Jack is her question. Hi, Jenny. Nice you just put something in the chat. By the way, Nicole and Jenny, I'm looking at the live view too. If you have any comments, put it in. I'm not going to go next year because the stellar sea eagles will definitely take priority. Okay, they definitely will because it's such a unique trip. Amanda, that is so wonderful. Thank you so much. Amanda's just donated $20. Looking forward to broadcast in Brazil and Japan. Merry Christmas to you and Rosanna. Thanks for everything you do, and thank you so much, Amanda. That's appreciated. I promise you, I will broadcast from Brazil whenever I can. The nice thing is, as you know, my wife is Brazilian. I've got a lovely wife, and she's probably going to do the driving there. She knows how to drive much better than I do in Brazil. I've driven there before, but you have to have a different mindset in Brazil, which I don't have, not like hers. She's very streetwise, and that's what you need in Brazil. So, I'm going to rely much on her Portuguese and her way of getting from the airport to wherever we have to go. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So thank you for that, Amanda. Yes, I promise. If I will broadcast whenever I can. And I've actually brought a drone with me. I'm bringing a drone with me. So I want to fly over the areas and show you probably scenes you've never seen before in your lives, okay, in Brazil. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Going back now to Facebook, Jim Weller says, we had an intruder attack on our Dayton nests. Yes, I remember that nest. And it's eagles last June. Willa mantled over the eaglets while Orv chased the intruder out of the nest. That's interesting. I do remember the Dayton nests, yes, and that's in this mantling is very typical, and it's great. And those intruders can be incredibly vicious, Jim. Thanks for putting in that comment. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you, Sherry Fonsico. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Rosemary Joy, also welcome on Facebook. Very nice to see all of you. So this is a very unusual late broadcast, something that you usually don't see. I've already packed my stuff to Brazil, but the question now is where is Juliet? And I'm usually an optimist, but my predictions from my years of being a lot with David Hancock is that the probability is getting worse by hour by hour to ever see her again, because the instinct of Juliet would be to come back to the nest, okay? So I'm sorry to say it's not looking good. I have to, however, give you a disclaimer at the same time. This is nature, okay? I know we get very hung up about the birds, and I really do myself, okay? The only comfort I have with you, this is the way nature works, and it is just the way evolution works. So as tragic as it may seem, but that is where the younger generation jumps in, and you see it with wolves. You can see it everywhere in nature. It is from the alpha female disappears, becomes a beta female, and so on, a gamma female, and the new alphas take over. It's just the way things are. You can also see it typically when you watch fights. The juveniles always win when it comes to fish. I have seen some. Thank you, Osprey Mama. Thanks for putting that in too. It's all going into the Brazil collection. And then the Japan collection. Thank you so much for the donation. Very much appreciated. So we've seen all this, we've seen all this before, right? The juveniles are very much on the attack, and the adults are more clever. They retreat. I mean, you do the same thing when you see a dangerous situation. The older you get, the more clever you get, and you retreat from the situations. You don't get involved in them, right? We do exactly the same. And it's the same. The animals do exactly the same. Yeah, they do. So that's, that's the only comfort I can give you. Of course, the problems we now have is we've learned so much through the eagle cams, haven't we? We've learned incredibly many things. I mean, David Hancock's eagle cams have been up ever since 2006. And at that time, they didn't even have enough bandwidth to go around the world. But we've learned so much. Rosemary Joy says, my female went missing this past season, and we had triplets on the nest, did you? Michelle Nelson says, Michelle, hi. Not looking good, but there's still hope. Until we know for sure, I think we shouldn't give up. Absolutely, I completely agree. But you can't help speculating. Thank you, Carol Mees again. Thank you so much. That was a dry, vicious attack on Juliet. It was. That was her comment. Thank you for the donations. They're happily going to go all into my exciting broadcasts for you. You know, I'm going to get really exciting broadcasts for you, so don't you worry. Okay, many exciting broadcasts to keep you running. Okay, so Jenny Jin, that was Jenny Jin who had asked about the Aleutian Islands. So next year it's Japan, northern Japan, and I'm going to talk a lot about northern Japan. Because to see stellar sea eagles is probably one of the biggest treats you can have, and we're going to go on the ice. We're going to go somewhere where hardly anybody goes to. We're going to go to a biologist there who's a specialist on stellar sea eagles. Can you believe it? So I'm going to see stellar eagles this close, okay? This close. Isn't that exciting? And I promise you, I will share it with you. I will. Okay. Praying for Juliet. Yes, Bart. Bart Madness. Oh, Bart Madness. Is that from The Simpsons? Is that what it is? Probably, I assume. Juliet Price says, I still have hope. You do. Debbie Myers says, yes, Jen, I remember. I lived there then, and we thought she was gone. And I think you are referring to one of the other nests here. You are. Daniel Danish, that's Jenny giving me a message. Has this one tried to care for the eggs at all? The answer is yes. I don't know particularly this one, but I do know there were 2 females and they have actually sat on the eggs. Maybe it's instinct, or maybe they don't know what to do, but once they hatch, there could be trouble, right? Surely I hope I pronounce your name, Hennen or Heenan. Christian, do you think Dad White Rock will finish getting the nest ready for the season? Because he doesn't seem to like the matting of the nest. Sounds like me, you know. Maybe that's my ego. That's my ego there up there. I wouldn't like it either. So we'll see anyway. Oh dear, I don't blame him. I hate cleaning too, by the way, and all these things. So, oh dear. Oh, that is funny. Yeah, we'll see anyway. I don't know. They still have a lot of time. It's only December, right, Shirley? It's only December. They have January and February. They have lots of time to get ready. Usually they get very busy in January. So no worries there, okay? Really no worries. Okay. So everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Where are we? I'm looking at your comments, though. And thanks, Jenny, for putting in the comments that I missed. It's very nice. Kim Stout says, I would like to see them very early. Love your hummingbirds live too. Yes. So my hummingbird camera at the moment is going to be off because I'm going to Brazil. But as soon as we get back, I will be full speed ahead. When I go to Japan, I'll take my slow motion camera too. I have my lenses and my huge lens that I have. You know that huge lens? That at the moment is with Nikon for repairs. So I'm spending a lot of money and energy to get everything right for Japan. Bart Madness says, can't wait to see your videos from Brazil. Egg sighting. Yes, it's very exciting. It's going to be fantastic. Bird E-Watcher, is there still a live cam at White Rock? Yes, absolutely. You know what? There are Bird E-Watcher. That's a great comment. At the moment, I counted. I think I counted approximately. In total, we have, if I get the number correct, between 15 and 20 live eagle cams running at the moment, okay? So that's, of course, Northeast Florida, Southwest. There are a lot of eagle cams that are not running live at the moment. The White Rock Eagle Nest cams are. Not all of them, but I need to check. But I've seen quite a few. I'm also thinking of running a live channel where we sort of switch between eagle cams so you can watch later in the season. You can see about 50 eagle cams switching from one to the other. So that's one of my plans so you can enjoy it. Kim Esparza says, it's hard not to be upset. But if a new female joins Romeo, I hope we can pull for a couple to get the eggs hatched and babies raised. People were upset when Hope was gone. Yes, of course. At new female. Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Well, you know, at the moment, I agree. There's a lot of speculation. So again, Juliet is missing. and it's not looking good. It's not looking good, okay? Unfortunately. I wish I had something better to say. I really wish, you know, so let's see if we can, you know, I was hoping we could get a close-up here of the camera. If we get a close-up, I could see whether, no, we can't, at the moment the tail is hidden, but let's see later when she moves, we might be able, at the moment, of course, she's sleeping, but maybe we can see that. Yeah, there's Gianni putting in the link for the Hancock Wildlife White Rock. So they're definitely, you know, they're definitely alive. Okay, they're definitely, the camera's alive, and it's very much running. Also, if you go to, yeah, that's right, you go to the hancockwildlife.org. It has a new website. It's a much better website now, by the way. Okay, Susan Lampeter on Facebook says, Decora has great cameras live. They do, and they run on explore.org. So the Decora has done a great job there. Absolutely agree. Yes, yes. Very nice. So just go on with your, you know, put your comments in. You're very welcome. Stay up late with me. I should maybe just go and get a glass of wine. What do you think? You vote. Should I get a glass of wine? Should I not get a glass of wine? I have to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Is it wise to drink some wine now? Is it not wise? You vote. You tell me, and tell me whether I should get some red wine, some rosé, or some white wine to enjoy the time here with you whilst we talk about all the nests. So I'm waiting for your comments, okay? Yes, we've learned a lot, says Bart Madness. Thanks to you, Christian. You're very welcome. Oh, yes, and Claudia's talking about the West Nile and Zika virus is killing raptors. It absolutely is. That is completely true. Dunell Danish, I've just seen your comment. Hang on, they jump on Facebook sometimes. Mohammed says, by the way, Christian, a word of truth. What was said about the Southwest Eagle? Oh gosh, the comments are just jumping away. They're coming in so fast that I can't even read them. Okay, somebody's voting for red wine. Carrie Walters is saying red. Shirley Heenan or Hennan, excuse it. Wise and white. Okay, let's see what you are all saying. Decora is another great camp. Christian, drink some wine for sure. Okay, so give me 1 minute, okay? Can I get a nice glass of wine? Okay, so I'm getting a lot of votes for wine here. I will treat myself with a glass of wine, which I usually never do. Okay, give me 1 second, my friends. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get some wine. I'll grab some for you too, Nicole, okay? So just hang on, and then I'll be back in a second, okay? Be right back. Be right back. Let's see if this... Oh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good resolution. Just hang on. Let me just change the resolution on this camera. That is a very bad resolution. This should be getting a bit better. There we go. That's much better. That's a much better resolution. So let me just get this one out of the way. There we go. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And I'll get some wine, red wine, white wine. Okay. You know, maybe I'll get rosé. I'll mix them. How's that? Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so just hang on. Don't run away. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I've got to run upstairs. Okay. Now I'm going to hide the wine underneath the table. You know, I have to tell you a funny story. I have to tell you a very funny story. Let me get right back. Where are we? Get rid of that. Well, that's a much nicer camera anyway. I got to quickly tell you a funny story. You know, in Europe, are you all back there? Yes, yes. Ah, Rebecca's there. Hi, Rebecca. That's wonderful. Rebecca's also there. So I got to tell you a quick funny story, okay? A very funny story. What happened when I came to Vancouver in 2007, okay? So I have to tell you this, in Germany or in Europe and all other countries I've stayed in, England and so on, it's very common that when there is an open festival or something, well, you take some wine, some beer along. And, well, I thought, well, in North America must be similar. I mean, in the States, they run around with guns, so surely I can go outside with a glass of wine. Well, I went to a nice park, the Stanley Park in Vancouver. It was lovely sunshine, and I took out my wine bottle, and I started, you know, do what you do in Germany, right? You sit there and drink. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not an alcoholic by any means. I just wanted to enjoy myself, get my sandwich out. And then a very friendly policeman comes up to me, typical Canadian, right, and says, what are you doing? And I said, I'm drinking wine. Would you guys, you know, do you want to join me or so? You know, I don't have a second glass here, but you know, you can join me. I didn't know what he wanted. And they said, you can't do that. I said, what? I've just arrived in, you know, I've just arrived here in Canada. This is what we do in Europe. And he laughed and he was, cheers. Yeah, I'm going to take my glass now. So anyway, here's my wine glass. Cheers to you all. Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the Northeast Floridaness. Cheers to all my friends. Cheers to Nicole. Cheers to Rebecca. Cheers to Janet. Cheers to all wonderful people that make this channel great. To all my friends, and I can't name all of you because you're so wonderful. So cheers to you. I'm flying in a few hours to Brazil, which is absolutely wonderful. Cheers to all my Facebook friends. I'm going to say so long cheers that this will evaporate by the time you know, I'm finished with the cheers, right? So anyway, cheers. So it's white wine. It's cold white wine from our fridge. Ooh, and it's good. It's very good. Oh, you know, I'm double there now. I'm already double. So let's get myself out of the way here. Yeah. Anyway, so now you saw me double drink. That's even worse, right? So anyway, so that's my story of Vancouver, coming back now to the policeman. So he said, well, you can't do that here. Okay, so he was very friendly. He didn't fine me or anything. He said, next time I have to fine you. I thought, gosh, they're crazy. I mean, you know, you can do all kinds of other things. So if I drink, surely if I drink responsibly, like, you know, I mean, you get drunks in Germany too, but, you know, we drink wine outside and it's normal. And, well, here you can't do that, right? So I learned my lesson. That's why they have these funny paper bags around alcohol, which looks really stupid, doesn't it? And then they pretend they go to baseball games and so on. And they have these paper bags around their things. That looks so stupid. Sorry, now I've had my rant. I've had my rant for the day. What did you do about drinking? Yes, Riesling. You know, it's a wine in a box and it's a Chardonnay. Okay, it's a very good Chardonnay. So thanks for asking. Gewürztraminer. You know, the Gewürztraminer is I'm amazed. I'll see how many of you can say Gewürztraminer. It's a very German name, by the way. Gewürztraminer. Okay. But that's what I think Amanda was referring to. Hi, Heather. It's looking like, yeah, BC's changing that law, is it? Well, Heather, cheers to that. If they come to their senses, you should never, ever drink and drive. That's the same in Germany or everywhere else. The police is very strict there. Don't get me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. When you go and you leave the Oktoberfest or so in Germany, the police is everywhere and they will stop you and they'll do alcohol tests and they are absolutely strict on the execution of the law. But so many people in Europe go by public transport, right? And they go by public transport and, you know, that's okay, right? That's okay. As long as you're responsible, everything's fine. No, you, Amanda, Gewürztraminer, to write it properly, I can write Gewürztraminer for you is a very difficult word for non-Germans, okay? So cheers to that. Wonderful. Well, what a surprise. Nice to see Rebecca too. Rebecca, We're going to have some incredible fun preparing some exciting educational live streams and so on. So it's very nice. So anyway, let's get back to the Northeast Florida nest. So whilst it's already 11 past 11 there, it's 11:11. That's a magical number. 2 days we don't know where Juliet, the precious Juliet is, who's been around there for 11 years. 11 years. Salut, says Susie. Yes, salut. I'll say salut, yes. That would be with a T, right? Yes, Debbie says, have a fabulous time. I will, Debbie Myers. I will definitely have a... Yeah, I'm going to speak about Juliet. I'm going to stop talking about wine now, and I'm going to talk about Juliet. So what I know, for those of you who've just joined, and thanks for all the people who've joined in. There are 44 on YouTube, and there's 73 on... that have come in on Facebook. It's absolutely wonderful, my friends, to have you so late here. So since two and a half days, Juliet has completely disappeared. You probably know that she was in a serious fight just a few days ago, right? That was when Rebecca and I did the live broadcast. You remember that, and so on. Susan North asked, does the Stella have long feathers on top of their head? On top of their head? Not that I know. However, Susan, I'll tell you one thing. When I'm in Japan, which I'm really doing now, so the trip is, yesterday I booked the trip, I will show you stellar eagles live from so close that you cannot believe it, okay? So I can't wait to do that, okay? I'm taking everything along and it's going to be exciting. Coming back anyway to Juliet, beer leads to more beer. Well, Bert... No comment on that, okay? I mean, I never had problems with alcohol, and I probably will never have. I've gone through tragedies in my life, but I've never, ever had problems with alcohol. And I guess most people don't. And for those who have problems with alcohol, have to watch it, okay? That's why you have AA and other things. And that's just the way it is. Question, is that Romeo? No, I don't think so. Joe, that's not Romeo up there. That is, Romeo would be on the eggs. And I don't know if there's another camera. Is there anybody looking at the Northeast Florida nest? Is there another camera looking directly into the nest at the moment? Is there Pinot Grigio is lovely. I agree, it is. So is there anybody who knows at the moment whether there's another camera looking directly at the nest? If there is, I'm going to switch over. I don't want to do it right now, but if you give me a yes or no. So the question is, are we just looking at one camera at the moment in Northeast Florida? So that's the young female. And you know, if you zoom in, let's try and zoom in a little bit here. Let's do a bit of zooming in. Let me see if I can do this for you. 1 second. And move it a little bit so we can see the feathers properly. Okay, now we zoom in even more. Let's see what this camera can do. Can we see whether they're actually dark or not? I don't think so. It's probably not good enough to see whether these tail feathers are dark. That's funny, isn't it? Oh, now the tail feathers are back in darkness, so that didn't help very much. So on the branches, adult number 2 says, Tatine, hello Tatine. Wonderful, Tatine. You are a great photographer, Tatine. Very nice to have you. Tatine, I did talk to Gretchen just a while ago, and she's given me all the updates. I know there's a lot of stress, but thank you, Tatine, for doing that. Tatine is one of the most knowledgeable people at the Northeast Florida nest. So very reliable information. So anything you can tell me. Let me see. You can change the cams under the word American Eagle Foundation. So I will do that now. Thanks for letting me know. So let's do it. Let's change the camera, okay? Here we go. Let me see. Let me see. Just hang on, please. Hang on. Underneath. Now you're going to say, Christian, are you blind? Yes, I am. I am blind. Live cams. More cams. Oh, yeah, I'm blind. Oh. Yes, here are more cams. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Got it. Okay, so thank you very much for those comments. So this must be Romeo, okay? This must be hover over cam. Yes, I've got it. I've got it. So this here has to be, I don't know why it's always blinking in there. Okay, anyway. So yes, this is a live camera. You can see it on the time. It's 23:16:54 there. So that's a live picture. So this is Romeo, obviously, isn't it? So this is Romeo. It's actually on the lower right. Okay, so are we, yeah, that's the American Eagle Foundation on the lower right. So I'm showing that I'm not stealing anything from anybody. So there is definitely the, you know, this is definitely from the American Eagle Foundations, and I give full credit to them. Okay, just that you know. Okay, so "'Tis be Romeo," so it is Romeo, yes. Press other views. I have actually managed to do it. Thank you for all your kind comments. Yes, where does it say American? Yeah, I got it, I got it, I got it. So this is Romeo obviously sitting on the eggs, right? And it's now, what I've learned from Tatine is that on the branch, that was the other picture. Let's see if I can switch over the other picture. How do we do this? Window. I wish I could do that quickly. Let me see. So anyway, that's the other picture. So that is the camera 1 or camera 2, whatever you want to call this. And that anyway is the Romeo camera, okay? So that is the Romeo camera, and I'm going to put it up in large again. Here you go. Romeo is tired and he yawned. I bet, Rebecca, he's very tired. He's very tired because, can you imagine all the stress there? It's incredible. Mac Lady, he keeps evil eyeing Big Bertha. He does, right? Yeah, and on Facebook, my friends, just put in your comments. I'm seeing everything live. Okay, so all your comments are welcome. Hi, Patricia. What a nice heart. Thank you so much. Piscitello, is that how you pronounce it? What a beautiful name. That sounds so Italian. Is it right? Piscitello. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Heather Lewis says, the other views are in the video. Yes, that's right. I got it. I got it. Completely got it. Thank you for your help. Got it all. And obviously you know this much better than I do. Brenda Russum Randolph. Jenny put in a comment. Hi Christian, love you. Merry Christmas to you and Rosanna. Thank you so much. Hover over the camera and select other views. I have done that. I have done that. Absolutely. So the mystery prevails. Romeo's doing his best. Quite incredible, isn't he? So he's diligently sitting on the eggs. The question will be now, big question, has the temperature gone too low for there to be below the critical temperature, which is unlikely, by the way, because in Florida it is still fairly warm. So we can probably assume that they will hatch. And if they hatch, it'll more likely be on the 21st than on the 20th, by the way. So we're going into the 20th very soon. In Florida, but it will be likely on the 21st, okay? And then the question is, what will the females do? Because Romeo cannot possibly look after them. You know that in the beginning, right in the beginning when they hatch, they have no thermal insulation. They would completely die of cold if you leave them out. It's only after, I think, 2 weeks or so, they have enough feathers to become self-sustaining, right? Mac Lady says, hope we'll see a pip tomorrow, but worried the eggs may be in danger. Yes, and absolutely. And Karen Elaine says, this female does not look like the one who was there in the afternoon. Is that right? Okay, so that's an interesting observation. So Karen is giving some good information here. She's saying there are 2 females, and this seems to be the second one. And I think that's also what Tatine said earlier. Tatine, that's now I understand what she meant by number 2. So by number 2, they called that the one that seems to be slightly older than the other one, right? Got it. Got it. Let me look back on Facebook now. Manu König, I was glad earlier today Romeo got to take a break and came back with a nice full crop. That is great. And Michelle says, Judy the eagle on branch is a female intruder. Juliet has not returned. So that confirms exactly what I heard 2 hours ago from Gretchen. We don't know anything. Hi, Nature Scoper. You do the most wonderful nature scopes of birds, especially on Periscope. Wonderful to have you here. Very nice. And Julie says, okay, thank you. So wonderful to have you all. So I'm saying cheers anyway. So I'm going to drink this, celebrate the Eagles with you no matter what happens. Be positive in life. Always look forward to things. Be happy about every single day and live like there's no tomorrow. And cheers to that. Okay. Yes, Tim says there are actually 3 females. How do you get that, Tim? Well, are you including Juliet in that? I presume so. Mohammed says 1 is the older, 2 is 5 years old. Okay, and that makes complete sense. And Janet says the younger being called, what was it, Sado? Oh gosh, the comments move up so quickly. I couldn't even see that. Right. Prost! Yes, Prost. Prost, Manu König. Prost. That's very good one. So which is the bigger? I don't know the answer. I have not seen both of them. So I don't know. Carolyn on YouTube. This is the same female that was perched last night. I see. In the nest tree. Okay, it's correct that this was a different female perched in a tree this afternoon. Okay, so it's quite... Rebecca says, I'm surprised the females are the ones trying to fight over the nest. I would think it's more common, yes, for the males to move. You know, that's exactly right, Rebecca. That's what we saw in White Rock. That's typical. But however, now we have the reverse situation where the female is gone, right? So, yeah. And it's quite dangerous because, I mean, these females are huge. They're huge. I mean, Romeo must be so exhausted. He's doing an incredible job. And honestly, I have not seen it like this before, where the male sits so diligently on the egg. So obviously, I mean, I don't know how old Romeo is, but dating back, he must be at least 15, 16, if not 20, right? Because I think when they first had the nest in 2010, 2011 back, I think it was assumed that he was about 6 or 7. So if you add another 10 years, you come to quite an age. Amanda says, right on, Christian, such a great attitude. Life really could be your last. Oh, that is so true. Yesterday's history and tomorrow's a mystery. But we mustn't be afraid of our mysteries. Don't be afraid. There's a very nice saying, there's a very nice Arab saying, actually, that says, there are two possibilities that you can do. 2 possibilities. If the problem is too big to change, don't worry, there's nothing you can do. And if you can't change it, don't worry either, because you can do something. So in either case, don't worry, okay? Because it's okay. And that's the best thing. Don't worry too much. I think that's a very wise way of looking at life. And I often tell myself that. I mean, so many people get upset when stress comes, and I'm certainly one of them too. But if you rationalize it, well, either you can do something about it, so there's no reason to worry, and if there's nothing you can do about it, don't worry either. So cheers to that. Getting my lovely glass of white wine here, which is nice and cold, slowly, it's getting half full, not half empty yet. It's nearly half full. It's so nice to see our company. I had such great company here tonight. Isn't it wonderful? Completely spontaneous. And I'm having the greatest company on life. I'm having company from all over the world. How fortunate am I? Kathy says, since there are already eggs in the nest, why don't females go and find an empty nest? Well, Kathy, I can answer that actually. It's because they're fairly young. They are just learning about mating and all that, and they learn. They also learn from other eagles. They learn all these things, and they are probably seeing these things, and then they think, well, that's a nest, that's wonderful, and their instinct says, I got to do something with the nest, but they don't quite know what to do, and it takes probably 2 to 3 years until the eggs really become viable. Okay, that's the way it works. It's a learning process. Carolyn Harrison, hi. Romeo and Juliet are estimated to be mid to late teens in age, so it's between 15 and 20. So that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense, Carolyn. That's what I thought, right? That's what I thought. Yeah, and how are my Facebook friends doing? That's great. Yeah, it says 16 plus years on the side, says Kim Stout. So that confirms it. Yeah, that confirms it completely. Really confirms it. Well, let's see what the other camera is doing. So let's do a quick switch here. There we go. Okay. Oops. Now let me see. I don't know why I can't enlarge it at the moment. There. Somehow got stuck. There we go. There we go. Okay, here we are back on the other. Here we are back. You can see it's the American Eagle Foundation. Thank you very much. I'm live streaming what the American Eagle Foundation is providing to all of you in excellent quality. And that is what I understand now, female number 2 that we're seeing on the screen here. Romeo is doing his best. Isn't it wonderful to see these fathers? You know, we had this discussion recently. What is the best country for where do fathers spend most time? This is a quiz question for you. Where, in which country do fathers spend most time with their children as a summary of all the population? Who knows the answer? I did mention this. I did mention that. Cheers to all the fathers who do lovely family work and care for the children too. And I know a lot of them do nowadays simply because it's also a need, right? I mean, nowadays both have to work, and if you have children, that's exactly what happens. Yes, Nature Scoper, you paid attention. You paid attention. Cheers to you. Cheers to Nature Scoper, who will give the first correct answer. The answer is Finland. Answer is Finland. So cheers to the Finns. That reminds me, I'll tell you a story about Finland quickly. I've been nearly everywhere in my life, right? So let me tell you a quick story about Finland. No, Karen, it's not Denmark. Karen Elaine, it's Finland. Denmark does very well too. So does Sweden, all the Nordic countries. Norway, by the way, is the most progressive when it comes to electric cars. Number 1, by 2025, if I remember correctly, all the cars in Norway will be electric. Cheers to those very, quite an advanced society. I think that's remarkable, right? Quite remarkable. So yes, it's Finland. Let me tell you a quick story about Finland. Rebecca, yeah, Norway. So Norway is a very interesting, we can talk about Norway too, because I lived in Sweden, I speak Swedish, and I have some Finnish friends. So let me tell you about my wonderful story in Finland. So when I was doing my PhD, it was a wonderful time. It was the best time of my life, really, because I did what I enjoyed. You know, I was never afraid of exams or anything because I did what I love. And I was actually very sad one day I did my PhD in optics when it was over, because I thought, gosh, now the life becomes real. I had almost a depression afterwards. But just as I was doing my PhD, I went over to Helsinki. Now, what's interesting about the Nordic countries is they are on 60 degrees latitude. Stockholm and Helsinki are the 2 most northern capitals of the world. And why are they so warm? Because you have the Gulf Stream. You have this wonderful Gulf Stream that comes from the Gulf of Mexico and goes all the way up the Channel Islands and right down. It's quite remarkable. And they keep the ice away. So you come to 60 degrees north latitude. Can you imagine being 60 degrees north in Alaska? Good grief. It's cold. In Canada, it's cold. In Russia, 60 degrees in latitude is cold. It's Siberia, right? And then you come to Stockholm and Helsinki and you have moderate temperature. It's because of the Gulf Stream, right? It's quite... Hi, Jan Lester. Nice to see you. And that's what's so interesting. So anyway, I did go in winter there, and it's very nice. You take a ferry from Stockholm. It's beautiful, and they go overnight. It's wonderful. I have to tell you a quick story also about the ferry. It's very interesting. You know, my goodness, they drink a lot on the ferries. I'm not a drinker, so I don't like this stuff. But you know, it's sort of duty free, and they drink and drink. And what's the difference between a Swede and a Finn? When a Swede gets drunk, he gets very unpleasant. Okay, they get unpleasant and they become a bit aggressive. You know what happens to the Finns? They pass out completely. Like the Russians, they pass out completely. That's what I learned on the boat. Okay. So anyway, we took this lovely ferry over to Finland. And my friends, of course, thought, you know, Christian, we have to take you ice fishing. Now, I've never been ice fishing in my life before, okay? Never been ice fishing. So I thought, well, let's go ice fishing, okay? Fine. Oh my goodness, was it cold. We had this ice wind. The sun was shining. You had these beautiful ice halos. Or, you know, have you seen these beautiful ice halos? They're caused by, it's a rainbow, a reverse rainbow that is caused by ice crystals. And it looks absolutely incredible because it's not on the opposite side. Like rain, if you have the sun and you have raindrops, the rainbow is always on the opposite side of the sun. But in this case, it's exactly 23 point something degrees. I think it's 0.6, if I remember correctly, degrees of the sun. And you call those halos, or some call them sundogs. And they're quite incredible. So you had this icy day in Finland, this beautiful icy day. And it was such cold air, and you could see these beautiful ice rings there. And then we went out fishing, and my goodness, there was a cold wind blowing. And these fins, I was covered. I could hardly see anything, and I was still freezing. And these fins, oh, good night, Jenny. Nice to have you here. And anyway, these fins, no gloves, nothing, okay? And what did they have? A bottle of schnapps, of course. So we went out there, and then they drilled a hole in the ice. And it was ice cold, and they put something in, and they put their hand into this ice cold water, and my friend said, no, this doesn't feel like the right place. So we drilled another hole and another, and he said, put his hand in again. And I have no idea how they measure this with their hand. But finally he said, I think this is the right spot, right? So we did ice fishing, they fished, and then finally it was my turn. And believe it or not, I was the only one who caught something. So that's my Finnish joke, okay? And it's a true joke. Anyway, Shirley, let me catch up a bit with you here. Kay Senior says, Romeo. Oh gosh, the comments are going so quick here that I can hardly catch up. Sorry, I just missed it. I believe this is happening. I wish you could go away. Julie Goldberg. Hi, Julie. If you could give him a chance, he has lots of interesting stories. What's wrong about talking about his travels? Yeah, I can understand it. I will jump straight back to the nest. I apologize, okay? I wanted to give you something positive in life. That's the meaning, okay? That's all. What kind of fish? It was a small fish like this, Amanda. It was a small fish. I don't know what it was. You know, typical of the Baltic Sea, just a small fish like that, right? Nothing special. But anyway, I caught it, and you know, we had it for dinner. It was great. Anyway, okay, let's jump back now to the nest. So here you can see the female. She's in the meantime woken up, and she's obviously listening to what I'm saying about Finland, agreeing or not agreeing, I don't know. But she's looking straight at us now, and looking a little bit, well, sheepish, I nearly said. And now she's looking straight into the nest. So let's take another look into the nest and see what's going on in the nest. Well, in the nest, Romeo is obviously doing a great job here. Just give me a second. Romeo is doing a great job. Yeah, he's doing a wonderful job. So we're talking straight about it again. There you go. There you have Romeo. So Romeo is obviously absolutely exhausted. Well, Julie says she loves hearing about my travels. Thank you very much. Is there light shining on the nest? No, Rebecca, what they do is they have an infrared light, okay? So typically all these, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see it. So there is definitely a light shining on it, because otherwise you would not be able to see it. So they have different types of infrared lights. I don't know whether this is more one that goes more into the infrared or not, but without the infrared illumination, you would not be able to see it. Obviously, the bird eyes are not sensitive to infrared, as you can see, because they never look directly into the camera, but it's very different for owls, by the way. There's some owls who do seem to see the infrared here, or I would call it the far red. Yes, Rebecca says it would, Tatine said it would be a house light or road light. Well, I thought, Tatine, that the cameras up there have, you know, they have special infrared lamps, which you hardly see. I could be wrong now. I'm not the expert at the site, but that was my assumption, especially when you look at the other. So I would have thought this is part of the, you know, it is part of the light here that is illuminating the branch, okay? That was my assumption, okay? So I think this would be, that would be infrared lighting. Yes, it would be. Because all the security cameras have that nowadays. And if you switch to the night vision does not help you if you don't have infrared illumination, by the way. Because, okay, now I can really get into the spectrum of things, but the infrared illumination wouldn't be much more sensitive. If you have the normal light without the infrared, it would be better if you stayed on daylight, actually. Okay, so that's here's those tricky owls, aren't they, Jan? They are. She can't resist this handsome guy in front of her. Yeah, that's funny. Carolyn says, we have infrared cameras for the night watch, yes, which the eagles cannot see. It looks too dark at the nest, but the infrared light is transferred so we can see it through the computers. In fact, that's completely correct. So these cameras are much more sensitive than our eyes. Okay, our eyes typically have the maximum spectral sensitivity at 555 nanometers, which corresponds to the maximum of the sun, which is not a coincidence. That's the way nature built us. It's very similar for birds, by the way. Although birds can see much more into the UV, many can, especially insects, as you know. They have as you know, bees can look right into the ultraviolet, which we cannot. And there seem to be certain birds that can be looking into the far red or near infrared, whichever you prefer. Okay, so that's a very short excursion on optics. I just saw one of the eggs, did you? Okay, so let's switch back then. If you saw one of the eggs, there you go. Cheers anyway, my friends. Cheers to all of you. Cheers for spending the evening here. I won't say the night, because I have to get up very early tomorrow. But I'll sleep a lot on the plane, which is great, isn't it? So, I've still got 80 people on Facebook. Thanks for joining me, my friends. That's wonderful. And I've got 53 on YouTube. That is very generous of you and very kind. I appreciate. Cheers to all of you, my friends. I wish you, by the way, a Merry Christmas. I promise I will broadcast from Brazil. Thanks for all the kind donations that some of you have just given. I appreciate that. And I will be in a very different state in Brazil, because this is far too hot. In Brazil, it's incredibly hot and humid now, and I can't wait at the moment to get in the heat, because I don't like rainy colds like what we have in Vancouver. I either want a proper cold like they have in Edmonton or other places, or on the East Coast, or maybe where you have other things in the States. But the Seattle, Vancouver weather in winter, well, it sucks. Okay, it does. Romeo's rocking on the eggs. Really, Nicole, is that the case? Romeo got right back on the eggs. Yeah, well, he's a very good lad. He's a very good lad. A very good dad, isn't he? Cheers. Cheers to my Facebook friends too. Wonderful. I'm seeing all your comments. I surely appreciate it. Ah, wonderful. Wonderful. Well, anyway, those of you who don't know, I'm going to Japan on the 8th of February with David Hancock. Isn't that amazing? So, cheers again, Claudia. Claudia Neubauer. Are you German, Claudia? You have a very German Neubauer. So it's not quite Neubauer. It's sort of a mixture between American and German. So, Merry Christmas, Christian. How long is the flight? It's long. So we are flying first to LA, Los Angeles, California for 2 hours, and then we're flying another 12 hours. It's always exciting flying over the equator. I like to sit near the window and watch the stars. Why? Because it's amazing. It's amazing because when you leave and you get above the cloud level, you typically would see Orion now. Orion, you know the beautiful Orion? That's around midnight. And then the funny thing is, when you turn, if you fly south, Orion goes upside down. It goes upside down, and then you know you're south of the equator, which is amazing. And most people who have flown have never noticed that, but Orion turns upside down as you cross the equator. Okay, it's quite something, you know. That's why they call the Australians down under, and so on. But that's things I like to watch. The same goes for the moon. At the moment, the moon's very bright. The moon completely turns upside down. Isn't that amazing? So these are just some hints for you if you can't sleep on the plane and the sky is clear, which is very often is, because very often at the heights of 40,000 feet, you very often have clear skies. You will be able to witness the turning around. Marie says, Christian, we have Southwest will be going on Pip Watch. Yes, I know you will. Isn't that fantastic? I know you will. And I wish you lots of good times there. And it's going to be wonderful. Debbie says, SEDs, oh gosh, I don't know the abbreviations. Gosh, where did your comment disappear now? You know, it's funny about Facebook, the comments just disappear. Ah, Susie is from Venezuela. Wow, cheers to that. Cheers to Venezuela, Caracas, or where are you from in Venezuela? Isn't that incredible? Yes, Julie, you didn't know that. Yeah, I can come up with these funny astronomy stories all the time to amaze you. I'm going to Australia, by the way, in March. In March again. So yes, from Venezuela. That's wonderful. Isn't it wonderful to have you all? So Venezuela is probably similar time to Brazil right now. You are 6 hours ahead, which means you're 3 hours ahead of Eastern time. I believe so. I would have to look it up. I would have to look it up. It's wonderful. You broadcast from Japan? Yes, Jan, I will broadcast from Japan 100%. I'm going to take the best equipment I can along. I will prepare myself very, very well. I'm going to take my huge lens along, my 800, my 2-500. I'm taking so much equipment. I'm going to probably carry David Hancock's hand luggage, but I have to get him through. He has to take some of my hand luggage because you have a limit on hand luggage, what you can take. But I don't put any of my precious photographic equipment into my suitcase, which is full of warm clothes then, by the way, when I go to northern Japan where the ice is. So I will be carrying lots of equipment, and I will hope I will give you a lot of flight time, isn't it, Amanda? It is. It is, absolutely. Absolutely. It is. It is. You know, I can feel the wine already. I never drink a lot of wine, but one full glass does it for me. So it's all good. If you've never been to the, by the way, to the south, it's quite interesting. We're going to Rosanna's farm. Her grandfather has a farm there. He's 97 years old. 97. So we're going to visit him. It's very simple there. And it's incredible. People, they live very simple in Brazil. And I will try to take some pictures also with a drone. I'm going to take a drone along. Take pictures there and some coverage. If I can't broadcast live all the time, it's because I have no network coverage, but I'll do my best. Good night, Nature Scoper. Thanks for being with us. Thank you so much for being with us. That's wonderful. That's what. Can't wait for your Japan visit. Well, the stellar sea eagles are going to be out of this world. I've always dreamt of seeing a stellar sea eagle. Thanks to Mike Sears, who is a medical doctor in the Children's Hospital, who has initiated this, and David Hancock, many thanks to him for having these incredible contacts in Japan, without which it wouldn't be possible. And I'm going to be the one with the heavy equipment and doing all the documentaries. So I will be doing a lot of documentation in northern Japan. It's going to be very incredible. I can't wait. And we're also going to the Japanese Ice Festival. You know, the Ice Festival where they carve these beautiful heads, and so on out of ice. I'm also going to be live there. And if I can broadcast live from there, I certainly will. Yes, 97. Isn't that amazing? It is absolutely amazing. Marie Price Miller. Oh, gosh. And your comment has just disappeared again. How is it possible that Facebook does that? That they just make your comments disappear? Maybe it's when I read them, they disappear. It's strange. What is happening here? Okay, Karen, what's happening here is we're looking, this is Romeo tossing the eggs a bit at the moment. And someone is obviously operating the camera too. And so that's Romeo. Juliet is not there, by the way. So that was the latest. I'll give you the other live camera. That is female number 2, as I learned. And that's what's going on at the moment. And it's right past midnight there already. No, it's not yet. Sorry, it's not past midnight. It's 11:45 at night. It's 11:45. So it's getting quite late now. Soon it'll be the you know, it'll be the day where things are going to be decided, right? It's going to be the 20th and 21st, what we're waiting for from the count. That's the 37th day. It's not the 35th. It's the 37th day that counts in Northeast. And by the way, also in Southwest, if I remember correctly, 36 point something or 37 days is the correct count, right? So it looks rather peaceful at night, but the next days are going to be, wow, that's all I can say. I will certainly be looking, as soon as I arrive in Brazil, I will be looking out and seeing what's happening. Thanks to them for helping you. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Claudia, without David Hancock and Mike Sears, this wouldn't be possible. I would not have done this on my own. So it's quite incredible. I will broadcast a lot from Japan. I would, you know, I've never been there. I've been to China, but not to Japan. So it's quite... Yes, Eastern time, it's 11:48, says Claudia. Absolutely, it's quite late. Kim says, sweet eagle dreams. Yes, that is to those who are leaving now where it's getting too late. That's female intruder number 2, says Kay Campbell. It is. It is. It is. 9:48 in Arizona, and it's 8:48 in Vancouver. That's correct. That is correct. Nana for Vols. Hi, Nana. Nice to see you. Good night, says Susan North. Thank you, Dr. Zossa. Safe travels to Brazil. I love your stories. They are so interesting. Good night. Heavy heart. Don't have too heavy heart. Tomorrow is a new day. The sun will rise. It's another new day. Low battery notification has popped up. What? Low battery? I can't. Amanda, I can't have a low battery. Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Gosh. Hang on. Hang on. Amanda, you're paying attention. I did not plug in my second laptop, and let's make it disappear. You are so awake. You are so awake. Thank you so much. That problem has just been solved. You are fantastic. You pay attention. You really pay attention. I love it. Gosh, we're having a great time here, eh? Cheryl Meyer says, concerned about these females and babies. Stepping on them, hurting them. Yes, absolutely. And worse than is eating them. Susan Paris says, Oklahoma City. Very nice. Oklahoma. Great. Yes, so thanks for warning me about the low battery. So that problem has been solved. Cheers to that. Too much wine, Jan. Jan? Oh, I'm always bad with names. But the wine will help me. It'll, you know, when I didn't know how to spell in school, you know what I did? I wrote it so illegibly that you could interpret it in any way, and that got me through my spelling test. So cheers to that. Good. Concerned about these females, yes, and babies stepping. Yeah, that's what Cheryl just said. It's the wine. It is, isn't it? It's absolutely the wine. So I'm telling you all the tricks of my life now, how to get through spelling bee tests. You just learned that? Any other tricks? That's funny. You know, nobody could read my handwriting. That was always a big advantage because I was left-handed and they tried to make me into right-handed, which I refused to. At that time, they believed that there was no such thing as left-handed children. So we had to be right-handed. So I can actually, which makes me very versatile. I can do things with my right hand because I was forced to, but I prefer doing things with my left hand. Yes, I am. I'm a night owl. Oh, Amanda, good for you. Nice. So you can also see in the infrared. I'm quite sure you can. Tell me what it looks like. It must be fantastic. Mary Thompson says, praying for Northeast Florida. It hurts, but it will go on. We had the similar to, and Decorah. Don't we remember Decorah? You remember John Howe's fantastic broadcast on Decorah? You probably remember that. When when one of the chicks didn't make it, the one died before and the other one didn't make it. So it's always very dramatic. David Hancock says that about 20 to 25% make it to the third year, actually. That must be right because there's so many dangers that come into place. Brenda is asking, Randolph, are your doggies on the trip with you? No, Brenda, they're not. They're too big for taking them with us. So they're going to stay here. They're going to be looked after from our friends. So yeah. Louise Lombardi says, does this happen a lot in nests? Yes, they do. Females fighting, it actually happens a lot. We do witness such fights quite a lot. We've not seen this before in Northeast Florida, but we've seen it in White Rock, and we've seen it in many other nests. You have the trio nest. Do you remember the trio nest? That is the absolute exception, where you have 2 males and 1 female. And then we have the other nest on the Channel Islands where you have 2 females and 1 male, and the male is called Superman. Have I got that correct? I think I do. So there are 2 nests where we know that they are actually trios. Quite remarkable. That is quite remarkable. After all this wine, I could still remember the most important about the trio nest. That's quite something. They have such a hard life. Well, you know the word definition of hard is interesting. That's life, right? They live like that, and they don't think about it, I'm sure. They just live. They live. And they're actually very sociable eagles. You've seen that. You've seen how sociable eagles are. They fight a lot, but they're very sociable, actually. But when it comes to nests and territories, they are really aggressive. Channel Islands, that's right, wasn't it? So that's where Superman is. Oh, my goodness. Yes, that was Peter Sharp. You remember Peter Sharp? Dr. Peter Sharp, one of the most knowledgeable people, biologists on eagle eggs and so on, who has all the records of the Channel Islands. Quite remarkable. I'm sure you remember him. Hi, proud cat, mama of 2. Are you joining us at this late hour? Cheers to you. My wine glass is still a quarter full and not 3/4 empty. Isn't that amazing? Cheers to that. It's thunder and Superman. What words. Isn't it incredible? Thank you, Dr. Zasse, says Louise Lombardi. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Superman. Yeah, you know all that. The trio nests are incredible, says Linda Shepherd. Enjoy your wines. Cheers. Yeah, and that will be my first and my last wine for tonight. Whoops. And now I'm going to cheat. I'm going to drink some water because I don't want to be dehydrated. That's correct. That's the Institute for Wildlife Studies, Dr. Peter Sharp. Yes, Karen Elaine, that's exactly what it is. So I've gone back to water now. The PIP starts on the 19th for Northeast 20, yes. But I think I spoke to Gretchen today, and she said the 20th is actually the more likely. So it's probably going to be tomorrow, if not after tomorrow, okay? So let's have another look at Romeo here. Just give me a second, and then I can switch back to the large view. Just hang on. There we go. Now, there's a large picture of Romeo again. Very nice. Cheers. Yeah, so that was the end of my wine. That's enough wine. Otherwise, I won't wake up for Brazil tomorrow. And now I'm drinking some water to dilute the wine. Rebecca says, looks very windy there. We're having a windstorm tomorrow in Vancouver again. You know, that's interesting. Rebecca's remarking that for 1 hour after our live broadcast, the power went off. So we're very lucky that last Friday we didn't have a power outage. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Yes. This looks like white wine. Now you're going to tell me this is, the next thing you're going to tell me this is not water. You're going to tell me this is vodka, right? No, it's not vodka. I promise you it's not. I'm not a heavy drinker. It's definitely water. You know, one thing you learn in your life, be careful that you always hydrate yourself. Always drink, and you probably know this, about 1/4 to half a glass of water before you go and sleep, because a lot of strokes and so on happen during the night, and they found out that there's a correlation between strokes and dehydration. Okay, so cheers to that. Always drink a small sip of water and some water before you go and sleep. Your body needs some water even when you sleep. Okay, so here's my wisdom. When is Pitchfork for Hamlet? Okay, well, that should also be starting tomorrow, if I remember correctly. That's 20th, 21st. And the other one's on the 24th, if I remember the dates correctly. So I think that's the way it is. I think I remember that correctly, yes. Yeah, so any wise comments here to my friends? Here we go. Mary says, Krista, I thought Northeast Florida was the 20th. Yes, that's correct. And it is. That's what Gretchen told me. She said it was the 20th. Heather Lewis says, storms took out South Cam at Harrison Mills. Heather, where are you located? Because you must be nearby, right? If you know such things. Maybe you're not. Maybe it's just that you know. Tim Riley says, this is an unbridled case of self-promotion. What a farce. Oh, that is funny, Tim. Tim, don't be upset. Take life lightly, okay? Take life lightly and enjoy it, okay? That's my message. Don't be upset and don't be angry. Just take life and enjoy yourself, okay? And really do it. Just have whatever you value every day. And don't give nasty comments. In the end, you lose with nasty comments, okay? I'm here because I want to be here. I have many friends and I enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, you are free to go. Okay, that's all I have to say. And I'm not upset with you. I have no nasty comments for anyone, okay? Thank you. Okay. We continue to watch for Juliet. That's right. Will they continue to search for Juliet? Obviously, Kim, they will. They absolutely will. They absolutely will. They will. Yes, they certainly will. Wonderful words. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you. It's you take the wind out of people when you're not aggressive. That's what I've learned that's my wisdom, really. Don't get aggressive with other people. It's it's not my style. Absolutely not. I just feel sorry for people who are so angry. That has to do with themselves. It has nothing to do with me. Okay? Thanks for calming me down during the crisis. Well, that is my absolute pleasure. Whatever I can do to make your life better, I will absolutely do that. Okay? Melissa says, we love you. Well, thank you, Melissa. That is so kind of you, really. That's very kind. That's very kind. And I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this. I'll be streaming for 1.5 hours. I was going to stream for only 10 minutes. Okay, and here I am talking to you for 1.5 hours. Okay, Julie just says great advice. Julie, I can tell you one thing about road rage. There are many YouTube videos on road rage, and if you watch them carefully, what do you learn? You learn that there's nobody is right. Road rage always involves two parties. Okay, always involves two parties. And very rarely do you hear anybody saying sorry, right? It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. Don't get into road rage. Just don't. Don't fuel the situation. It'll make things worse. And it's the same thing with everything in life. The best weapon you have is kindness and generosity. And I really mean that. Okay? And that's my wisdom with 59 years on this planet. I used to be different, but I changed because I learned that is the only right way to do it. Let other people get angry, but don't fuel the anger. It just leads to terrible things. Any idea what Romeo's thinking? No, Cheryl, I have no idea. I think Romeo lives in the moment, like most animals do. They live in the moment. Thank you, Proud Cat Mama of Du. Those dates are correct for Pipwatch. Okay, so we got those dates correct. That's great. That's great. That's good. Thank you for lightening up the mood, Dr. Zasse. Thank you, Louise for Lombardy, for being here. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. That is my absolute pleasure. So let's have one last look at the other camera and see what our oh, well, she is obviously in front of the other camera. So let's have a look here. There you go. There you go. Oh, that's very nice. Do you see how they stretch their feet? Isn't that amazing? How they stretch their feet, and you can see these beautiful talons, these powerful talons. It's resting on one foot now. Really beautiful. This world needs more kindness. I really believe that. Proud cat mom of two. Yes, Amanda, that is. I think the world needs more kindness. It does. It does. I feel bad for calling and looking for Juliet. Oh, that's okay. What happened to my girl, says Linda Shepherd on Facebook. Kindness helps, doesn't it? Yes, it does. It does. Any signs of Juliet? No, Doreen Fraz. We have no signs of Juliet whatsoever. If I know anything, I'm going to communicate on with. I will definitely communicate on with Gretchen and with Tatina, and I will give you any updates I know, anything that will help you. Okay. So I think, my friends, I'm going to slowly sign off now. I wanted to thank you for being with me. I didn't expect that. Your kindness is absolutely overwhelming, really, and I mean that from my heart. Thank you for, the eagles are really, that's like nature is a way of healing. It is a way of uniting people from whatever their backgrounds are, no matter what political, religious, or whatever background you may have. Wildlife doesn't care about it. It is what it is, and we should be what we are, and we should be kind. That's very important. So, my friends, anyway, I wish you a wonderful Christmas. If I can, I will be live from Brazil very soon. I'm going to get up very early tomorrow at 3 or 4, which is very soon, very soon. And I'll be flying for the most of the day, and I will probably be with you on the 21st when I arrive at 8 a.m. in Brazil. So I will probably broadcast on the 21st, 22nd, and it will be very different. It's going to be very warm there. So I just wanted to thank you very much for being with me and being so kind and really wonderful. Romeo's a superstar, isn't he? Isn't he? Yes. So thanks a lot. So I'm going to sign off now. And I wish you all the best. Let me see how I have to sign off somewhere here. Yeah, I'm going to first sign off on Facebook. So thank you, my friends. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to sign off on YouTube. So I wish you all the best, and I hope to speak to you before Christmas. Thank you.